Hi, my name is Adam Wilson with Wilson Cattle Company here in Abingdon, Virginia, and this is my wife, Sarah, and she manages Leonard Land and Livestock in Russell County, Virginia. The goal of our operation here at Wilson Cattle and Leonard Land and Livestock, we have numerous goals. Our biggest goal is to market the very best cattle that we possibly can. We are a cow-calf operation at both facilities, and we take pride in our cattle. We take pride in the forages that we put up. That's another goal that we have, is putting up the very best forages that we possibly can, as well as taking care of our land and doing all the conservation programs that we possibly can to preserve the land. That's a large goal that we keep at both farms and have spent a lot of money doing so. Okay, our forage programs here at our farms, like I said earlier, we take pride in the forages that we grow, and one of the forages that we do, especially that we wean our calves on, is this year we did Sudan, sorghum Sudan, and we're actually baling that product today for its first time, and it has turned out really well. We've tried different summer annuals, and we've stuck with Sudan the last 2 years, and we've really liked it, and we're putting a lot of pounds on calves with not using very much added feed, and it's working very well. So anyway, we'll get some shots of that later. But our grass, of course, is our number one goal. We do a lot of seeding of orchard grass and a lot of clover in our pastures. Of course, we want the very best grasses for our cattle, so they'll put on as many pounds as they possibly can. We also do a lot of weed control here through spraying, more spraying than we do bush hogging, to try to keep, so the weeds don't use our nutrients and the grass gets our nutrients. But as I said before, we do a lot of summer annuals. What we come after our summer annuals is usually Marshall ryegrass, and we'll mow our ryegrass in the spring, usually get 2 cuttings of that and make haylage out of it. That feed will feed our fall cows. That's what our fall cows will get 75% of their ration through the winter. We do not feed our cows any grain whatsoever, our spring cows or our fall cows. But our fall cows will come out of the winter usually in better shape with big calves on them off the ryegrass than they went in. Our spring cows, of course, we usually feed them all first cutting dry hay, is what they get through the winter. Our hay, we tarp a lot of hay, and we've also built 2 new facilities last year, hay barns that'll hold 450 rolls, 4x5 rolls apiece, that are working tremendous. Looking at building another one of those this coming year. But we usually wrap or make haylage out of about 3,000 rolls and dry bale close to 3,000 to get all of our cattle through the winter. I'm going to talk to you now about how we market cattle here at Wilson Cattle Company and Leonard Land and Livestock. We run 2 different cow herds. We have a spring herd and a fall herd. Our spring herd we calve out in February and March, and then we'll wean those calves in October, about the middle of October, and we will wean them for 60 to 75 days. At the end of that 60 to 75 days, we market them in two different methods. We'll either A, private treaty and sell load lots ourselves by having different order buyers come by and look at the cattle and put sealed bids in on them. Or we'll go through the Abingdon Feeder Cattle Association and sell those calves on the VQA sale, which works tremendously as well. Our fall herd, which usually calves August, September, the end of August, and starts really heavy in September, we'll wean those calves a little younger, the 1st of May, and we'll wean them, and then we'll put them on grass and keep them until usually September. And we'll either sell them through VQA and the Abingdon Feeder Cattle Association, or put a couple loads together and sell private treatedly. Okay, now I'm going to go over with how we vaccinate our cattle, and I'll start with our cow herd. As I said, we are a cow-calf operation, and our cows get run through the chute a lot. We give pre-calving shots, usually about 60 days before calving, and what that consists of is usually a Scour Boss 9 for E. coli in the calves when they're born, a type A blackleg as well as regular black leg, and they usually at pre-calving will just get like a triangle 10 is what we give on the cows. And we always, we've started as of 2 or 3 years ago going all injectable wormer. We did use pour-on for a long time, but now we do injectable in everything. So that sort of sums up our cows on pre-calving. At preg check, when we wean calves off and preg check the cows, I guess you could say that is midterm. The cows will get, we'll go ahead and give them a shot of triangle 10 at that time too, so they get one at preg check and then one again at pre-calving. Pre-breeding shots, we give a Virus Shield 6 with Vibrio and Lepto, as well as type A and regular black leg, and usually some form of a pink eye shot, and they get fly tagged at that time as well. Moving on to our calves. When they're born, we tag every calf as soon as it, well, literally just about as soon as it hits the ground. It's tagged to its mother, and at that time it's given a shot of multi-min vitamins and a shot of tetanus if it's a bull calf. Then at branding, I guess you could say, or turning out, those calves will get banded, they'll get wormed, they'll get a shot of black leg with some sort of pink eye, and get ear tagged, fly tagged, and turned out. When we wean those calves, when they're pulled off, we sort of bust things up a little bit. When they're first weaned, they'll get Pyramid 5 with pre-sponse. It's worked really well for us for the last 10 years, and we've stuck with it. If it's not broke, don't fix it, is sort of our method. Those cattle will get drenched with Synanthic, as well as an injectable wormer at the same time, and we'll give them usually type A blackleg at the beginning. At booster, we come back with Pyramid 5, modified live, of course, on both those Pyramid 5s, and then we will give our regular blackleg at that time. So we split the blacklegs up, type A and the other. We seem to think that it works a lot better, and they don't fight each other trying to make that vaccine work. But that's pretty much our vaccination programs. We usually don't really have to doctor anything too awful much with antibiotics. We don't bring cattle in during this. When we wean everybody at one time. If anybody is missed by accident, they do not go back into the groups of already weaned calves. We'll take those onto the market and get rid of them, because we don't want to start the weaning process all over again. So that has really helped us, one, not bringing cattle in off farms, and two, when we wean everybody at one time. So I'll go over with you now on our the genetics of our cow herd and the bulls that we use at both farms. We are a commercial calf operation, but our cows consist mostly of Angus genetics, a lot of Angus Hereford cross genetics on the cow side, as well as a lot of Angus Simmental cross genetics. A little bit of Charolais, but not much. These have been a group of cows that we've been building on for the last 15 years, and they are doing exactly what we're wanting them to do. As far as bull selection, as of 3 years ago, we were using straight Angus genetics. I'm not a big screamer about low birth weight. I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to that, to tell you the truth. I think sometimes you can get too low of a birth weight, and you end up with little bitty calves. We're a stickler on our females, especially our replacements, and we like for them to be mature and not breed too young. We'd rather have a heifer that's a little older and get her bred back, and she can handle, a bull with a birth weight of 1.5, no problem. So that's what we check for in our bull selection. We have now went to a lot of Angus Simmental cross bulls. sticking about 3/4 Angus, quarter Simmental, just to add a little more bone and frame into these calves. We're using a lot more Hereford sires now as well, as our cow herd had got a little too much Angus on us, and we like the Hereford influence to have a lot of black body, black motley face calves. That's really a good market for us, is these black calves and black motley face calves and black body calves all mixed together is really what our buyers are wanting. As we were saying earlier, on marketing, we've built a good reputation with a couple feedlots out west and over the last 15, 20 years, and they call looking for our calves a lot of times. So, because they know what they'll do and they know the health of them, and they know our genetics. And but we've really switched things around and trying to add a little more frame into our calves than what we were getting out of the straight Angus genetics. And you know that works for us. That doesn't mean it'll work for you, but that's what works for us. I'm going to go over with you how we cull our cows and keep our cow herd in top-notch shape as far as health and age. I guess when I first came back from Virginia Tech in 2001, we were really building a cow herd, and we hardly culled anything. And what would usually happen is at preg check, we knew she needed to go, but she was always bred, and we'd keep her, and then we'd end up burying her. So what we've started doing is when we wean, we keep records on we know we're really record keepers. I mean, we know what these cattle are doing, how the cow has done every year. We've got her calf's weights and how they've performed in different, situations they've been in. But we will actually cull at weaning. When we wean our calves, we will go ahead and cull what cows we know needs to be culled before we ever preg check. Those cows are in a different pen on their way to the market. So there is one slice of culling done right off the bat. After that, we'll cull again at preg check. If there's anything, if a cow is not bred, doesn't mean that we will cull her. Sometimes we'll move that cow. If she's a good cow and we think it was really out of her control, we will move her either, if she was in the fall herd, we'll move her to the spring herd, or vice versa. If she was in the spring herd, we'll move her to the fall herd and give her one more chance. But if she's not bred in that herd, then she's gone automatically. They only get 2 chances here. And that has really helped us a whole lot, especially on our first calf heifers. If we have some of them open, we'll give them one more chance because you got so much invested in them. But we'll wean or cull again at preg check, just on that basis of being bred or not. And but our main cull is at weaning before we even know she's bred, and that helps us. That has helped us more than anything to get our cow herd back down to a young age and a productive age. I'd say we buy a lot of cows too, and every time you go look at a group of cows, they're always 7 years old. But I can tell you, you come look at my cows, there's hardly, you can count a handful that might be over 7 years old. So, I mean, we've really been strict on this, and we're only getting stricter. So that's how we do our culling. Some of the biggest challenges that face us on our farms here in Southwest Virginia, number one, which may even be on a national level, is labor, skilled labor. It's hard to find, and when you do find it, you seem to overwork them. There's always too much to be done, but skilled labor is probably one of the biggest challenges that we have here. We do have some really good employees that work for us, and we pay them to keep them because we know what we have and make it an enjoyable environment for them to be in. But we could always use more, and that's our problem. It seems like we're 7 days a week when we need to be spread apart, where none of us have to work but 5 days a week and have 2 days apiece off, but we don't have that luxury. And we've got good guys that work with us, and they're here with us 7 days a week, just like we are, working it like it's their own. Another challenge that faces us here in Southwest Virginia, more so in Washington County than Russell, is urbanization. That has become a problem in my lifetime. As more and more people move to this county, our farms are getting bought up and split and subdivided into smaller farms. So instead of dealing with one person on 100 acres, now you deal with 10 people on that same farm in 10-acre plots. And it makes it challenging and difficult. As the older generations pass on and leave the land to their children have no interest and they sell it. And you can only afford to buy so much to farm, but you do what you can. But that has been a problem, and it's still a growing problem here in this county, is leasing farms or buying farms to have enough room to run all these cows on. And the education of those moving in to understand when cows are in the road, or when cows get in their yard, or when you're spreading chicken litter or cow manure, that the smell will go away in a day or two. It's always a constant battle of educating the neighbors. And we try to educate them before we upset them. And that seems to work pretty good so far. So that's our biggest challenges here in the county. And I think as far as national, the beef industry as a whole is unity in the producers and producing a consistent quality product for the consumer. We need to gain the consumer's trust back and really drive education throughout the country on the beef industry with all the negative publicity that all the other organizations has thrown in our face, and really get the truth out to these consumers and to the public, and let them know what good stewards of the land that we are, and stewards of our cattle and animal, and how we take care of our animals, because that's our livelihood and our income. I think that's as long as we can stay positive, would be our greatest force to overcoming the negative that they keep throwing to all of our consumers.